Trae Young traded to the Wizards. Don't know why. The Knicks, what the hell? WNBA work stoppage, probable. Year 9 of the box out starts right now.
The streets are talking. You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
Welcome. This is The Box Out here on the One Podcast Network. 2026, we're back. The start of our 9th year doing this podcast. Still not making any money on this thing, but God damn it, we love doing it. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're watching us live right now on YouTube or you're watching the replay after the show tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I have a new computer now. It's really cool. I have a Mac. I've advanced in life. So thank you so much for watching. And our opening tip tonight is going to be Trae Young. And listen, as a New York Knicks fan, I hate Trae Young with every bone in my body. Like it is unfathomable. I probably said that word completely wrong. Of how much I hate Trae Young. Respect him, but hate Trae Young. He played the Knicks in the playoff series a couple years ago and single-handedly whooped the shit out of us. Is what it is. Good player, great player, hate his guts, but damn, he's good sometimes. Last couple years, he was hurt. Shooting percentage went down. Turnover rate weren't really up. So there were some questions about whether Trae Young was going to be that guy in Atlanta to lead them into the future. Quinn Snyder, great coach. Jalen Johnson, Nicole Alexander-Walker joined the team, but they didn't give him an extension. So automatically, the assumption would be he's not the guy we're going to lean on as an organization down in the ATL. Well, wouldn't you know it, last night there was a trade. Trae Young, and it was reported for days that he was working with the Hawks on a trade to get out of Atlanta. He got his wish. He got out. However, he went somewhere that I was not expecting. It came out, I think, early yesterday, and it'll be early Wednesday for those watching, that Washington, the Wizards, would be the team that he'd be interested the most in going to. The same Wizards that hasn't seen success in years. Don't really know what direction they are. Don't know where they're going. But the Wizards was the preferred locale for Trae Young. Last night, he got his wish, traded to the Washington Wizards. And I'm still trying to figure this trade out. Trae Young to the Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. If you're trading someone like a Trae Young and to just get in return CJ McCollum, who's kind of turned into this kind of random trade piece that teams use now. Like you almost think of CJ McCollum the way you thought of like Robert Ory without the success, right? Every part of every trade, like John Sally after the Detroit Pistons run in the 90s or late 80s, early 90s. And then Corey Kispert, who, good player, a good bench player. He's not going to light the world on fire. He's a good shooter. He has size. He can play the 3 or the 4. But for Trae Young, who I would say a perennial all-star, right? I wouldn't say, I would say perennial. I think Trae Young was always in that all-star conversation. He's never going to win you an all defensive NBA honors. He's never going to lead the league in assists, but Trae Young is Trae Young. Trae Young could go out there and give you 52 points if you need to. So to just get CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert seems like Atlanta was just trying to move on from Trae Young and the Trae Young experiment and go, we have Jalen Johnson, who is probably one of the breakout stars of the season. We have Alexander Walker. We have Dyson Daniels. What's wrong with them? And let's kind of rebuild. And I don't think they're going to rebuild. I don't think they're going to blow it up like Washington. They're not going to blow it up like New Orleans is probably going to blow it up very soon. But let's kind of like reset. We have these three pieces in Daniels, Walker Alexander, and Jalen Johnson. Let's run with them. And now with Trae Young gone, you have almost $50 million in cap space that you could run with. So let's kind of reset, right? So the Hawks aren't going into this major rebuild. They're saying, let's reset this. Let's reset the cards. We have a couple of aces. Let's go out there and see if we can get some more. And then I hear something this morning from Shams, because I was already, like, the trade happened. I was already in bed. I'm not getting up having an emergency podcast about Trae Young getting traded to the Wizards. Sorry, guys. But then I woke up this morning, watched SportsCenter, and the Hawks are actively in talks with the Mavericks about possibly bringing in Anthony Davis in and signing him to a contract. And Anthony Davis was going to be part of this rebuild, or this reload in Atlanta. So they traded Trae Young for nothing, probably for money purposes. And their ultimate goal is Anthony Davis. As I bring in Jason Corner from Brooklyn, New York. Jay, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How's everything?
Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
So I'm not sure if you remember this. We started this show 9 years ago, I think yesterday.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I knew it was early, but I didn't remember the exact date.
So it came up on my Facebook memories like, oh, yeah, the box out starting January 7th. And I'm like, that was 2016. Holy shit. Like, wow. 2017.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. So of course we started anniversary. Some bad news. Trae Young traded for almost nothing to the Wizards. What were your thoughts? I know the trade happened like 10:30. I just said I was in bed already, so I wasn't gonna hit you up and be like, "Let's do a emergency pod." What do you think about this trade?
I mean, I'm surprised to see him go. I thought McCullough actually helps the Hawks a little bit because now it gives them a veteran presence. So I like what the Hawks. I like what they're trying to build there. I thought what they did to the Knicks the other night was a very indication of where I think the Hawks' ceiling could be in the Eastern Conference. As for Trae Young, I mean, if Stephen A. Smith called the Jets purgatory, Chocolate City, which ain't really chocolate these days, is just a second close to as purgatory as you can get. So it could. I'm happy for Trae Young. He will enjoy maybe the playing if he decides to compete for that. But I'm surprised he wanted to go there, and I'm surprised there wasn't a lot of suitors. And that also goes to show you that, hey, we don't care if you can put up a lot of shots. If you can't play defense, we don't need a contender. Does not need you.
And that's the thing. When they said he was kind of facilitated a trade, I'm like, who would be the team that would be like, let's take Trae Young on? And I feel like the only team that popped to mind was teams that are either really young, i.e. Wizards, or a team that's in that mode of we're not going to be good. Let's just bring on players, kind of what the Nets did years ago when they started bringing on contracts and kind of accumulating draft capital. So him wanting to go to Washington made sense. I think Washington's probably the more willing of the 30 teams right now to say, we'll give you an extension down the line. Yeah, I don't think he had another team that was like, we'll give you the extension that you deserve besides Washington right now.
I mean, if this was Trae maybe like 2 years ago, maybe Miami would have thought about it. But again, he doesn't play no defense. And I don't think he would mesh in well with the Heat culture. So I thought Washington was probably – I would have liked to see him in Charlotte, though. I thought Charlotte would have been a good situation for him.
So, Charlotte with him in Ball? I don't know. That's a lot of no defense on that team. God damn. So $95 million left in this deal through next year. A player option, which he's definitely going to opt out of, and Wizards are probably going to jump on because they need a player to showcase. But to hear that Atlanta's like, we got Dyson Daniels, we got Jalen Johnson, we got Alexander Walker, let's go get Anthony Davis. All of a sudden, the focus is Anthony Davis. And I'm like, so you made this deal to get street clothes?
I mean, people think he still has some value. I mean, I'm one to think he has a little value too, but I don't know. I don't know if I like the parts that Dallas would take on, and I think Dallas is only going to make this trade if it's worthwhile. If the Knicks wanted to trade Cap for him, which I think that's a bad trade as well. But.
Jesus, no. God, I don't want to be in New York. I mean, you look at the Wizards roster and with Trae, and you just have this really weird roster. Chris Middleton's still kind of putting up shots.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Sarr is playing well. Like he had a really good rookie year last year. He definitely got a lot better this year.
Yep, for sure.
But what do you see for the Wizards for the remainder of the year? Because I don't foresee anything crazy happening with this team.
I think they're going to play themselves so well that the Knicks recoup that draft pick from them, because I think it's not going to be a protected pick. I think the Wizards are going to be like, I think it's a play-in. Now they're in play. I could easily see them 10th in the East, trying to get that 8th seed.
So right now they're 10-26. They're 14th in the East. They're about, I'm looking at it right now.
They're better than the Nets, and I think the Nets are definitely going to still trade Porter. So
actually, no, the Nets are ahead of them.
Oh wow!
I mean, I think
you might be right because they've been frisky.
Yeah, so they're about 6.5 back of the Bulls in that 10th spot for the play-in. So they're not far out, but Trae Young will probably get you 5-6 wins by himself.
Right.
So I think you can kind of say they could definitely move up from 14, get to 12, get to 11. And kind of put some heat on Chicago, on Milwaukee, who's kind of in 11th, but kind of teetering. Them in Chicago going back and forth for 10. So,
and I'm pretty sure they're not done making moves either. So they might pick up another veteran Suicide Squad asset.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the names, Kabali, Volkovich, Whitmore, A.J. Johnson, Jameer Watkins, Bub Carrington, Champagny. I saw the Nets played him recently, so there's no reason some of these names I'm saying, I'm like, okay, I just saw him. Anthony Gill, Keyshawn George, Middleton, like I mentioned, Marvin Bagley in the third is still
in the league,
still kicking. You don't have a lot to trade here.
No.
So I don't know what moves you can make to get someone legitimate. And like I said, the draft pick is kind of with the Knicks, unless it's like a lottery pick. So if Washington's goal is to get Trae Young and Anthony Davis, get Trae Young, hope that all these picks either round out like Alexander Sarr, and hope that they have some money left because they have to pay Trae Young to keep him.
Yeah.
So is it are the Wizards playing chess, or are they just like, this is just kind of a Hail Mary, we gotta do something?
I think it's more so a Hail Mary. They got to do something because they're not as bottom out. They're not going to land in the top 5 in the lottery. So you might as well go get yourself a all-star fringe player that would probably sell seats.
They better do something because they just kind of redid. I think they redid the arena.
Yeah.
And no one's going. It's like we're back to the Capitol Center back in the 80s where no one's like, no, we ain't going to Bullets games this year. We're gonna let that run. So I'm curious. And Atlanta trying to get Anthony Davis, like he's gonna be the catalyst for playoff success, is hilarious to me.
I mean, I understand their logic if we look at the bigs in the East. Detroit's loaded. Nobody knows what Milwaukee's gonna do with Giannis. So I get it.
I guess. Moving on. I know we spoke last time. Like we do a party. Like we got a pep talk for the Knicks. They did win yesterday. They beat the Clippers. Before that, 4 losses in a row, all by double digits. The worst being against the Detroit Pistons, where they lost by 31 points.
To the Knicks' credit with Detroit, I thought Detroit had marked that game on their calendar the second the schedule came out. So, I mean, there was no chance the Knicks were winning that game. No chance.
Okay, so what do you say about Philly, Atlanta, and San Antonio before that?
Those are San Antonio. They blew a lead. They blew the lead. I did think Atlanta and Philly was more alarming because their bigs dominated, which led to Detroit finishing off the Knicks. So I thought those two losses were more alarming than anything. I knew they were not beating Detroit in Detroit the first time they saw them.
So here's my question. I think this is a weird question to say. Do you think that them going on this West Coast trip might be a good thing?
I think it's a great thing because it gets back to the West Coast where they won the Cup in Vegas, get away from the Garden, get away from some of these teams in the East. I think they could beat Portland. I think they could beat the Suns. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think now's probably the best time for that West Coast trip to get the team bonding again. You know, I think the Villanova Knicks need to get off their high horse a little bit and let the other guys have their say, have their input, figure a way to get back what they had in early December.
So they got Phoenix tomorrow, then Portland, Sacramento, Golden State. So you have three games you should win. Golden State.
Yeah. Golden State ain't what they used to be, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still kind of a toss-up. But you could beat Phoenix, you can beat Portland, you definitely can beat Sacramento.
Right.
you need to blow Sacramento out. And that's one of them get-right games. That's when, Rutgers invites Howard Piscataway in football. Like you get right with that game. But with those losses, did you see anything like alarming? Was it just like, and I know my dad, like, it's 80 games in the season, you're gonna lose some games. Was it just a stretch of like they just could not get shit right for those 4 games?
It was definitely they couldn't get none right. The 2 back-to-back, the Philly back-to-back. I figured they was gonna lose that one, but again, it's what I saw against Atlanta, Philly. Those bigs, which again, this West Coast trip is a good break for them because they're not playing bigs like that. They're playing more finesse bigs. So we'll see with Cat. Cat's the problem. Cat is the entire problem to this Knicks equation. He's not consistent. He gets down. Cat reminds me of? He reminds me of Julius 2 years ago.
Oh, damn.
He's starting to get like, if he's not involved, he's not getting his touches. He's pouting. He's doing this and that. So this is where Mike is gonna have to wheel him in or something. Like these guys, the Villanova crew is gonna have to bring him in and like put him on a podcast or something. They got to figure something out. But
we got to get Cat on the podcast, make it feel better.
He is definitely starting to remind me of Randall in all the worst ways.
I was waiting for this comment. So do we expect the Knicks to win every game? This is my dad. My dad's commenting. Win every game and never have a losing streak as even the Thunder has had.
Thunder's different. Thunder's different. Well, they're very similar because I do think teams have figured out how to play the Thunder, and teams have an idea how to play the Knicks. If you load up big on Brunson, because Cat is inconsistent, and those things that's happening now could be rear its ugly head later on in the season. So
listen, you're also missing Hart, who is
Hart, right?
Lack of a better term, the heart and soul of the team. So you're missing your defensive kind of engager. And you're missing the energy, and you're not getting it from anyone else. I still think Jordan Clarkson's that linchpin because I don't think we've seen the best of Jordan Clarkson yet. I don't think we've seen Jordan Clarkson from Utah. We need to see.
He looked good on Christmas. He did look good on Christmas.
I think Yabusele is starting to become a waste. I think that was a move that it looked good on paper, and I was very hyped about getting him. But I don't think he's doing, and he's kind of slid down the rotation. So all this conversation that, how is Mike going to play all these players when, everyone comes back? I think it's kind of working itself out because if you're not playing well, Yabusele is 12 or 13 on that bench, and those younger guys kind of moved up the bench now.
Yeah, and they're definitely contributing, so it definitely works itself out. But do you see a trade for the Knicks between now and the deadline?
Christmas Day, I said, absolutely not. Do not touch the team. Now I'm like, should we? Do we need new blood? Do we need to kind of shake it up?
They need an enforcer.
Is Rick Mahorn available? Can we bring him back? Let's just throw our elbow. You're right. I think we need this. We need PJ Tucker from like 6 years ago.
There you go.
Right?
Someone like PJ Tucker. Yep.
PJ is going to get in someone's grill, probably draw a technical, draw a few offensive fouls, hit the occasional 3 when you need him to. But that was his role. I feel like NBA, do we have any of those anymore in NBA? I feel like he might have been the last of like a dying breed.
Oh boy.
Besides Draymond. But
Draymond and Brooks. That was it.
Yeah, but Brooks is too crazy.
And my favorite white boy, Grayson Allen.
I mean, once he stopped putting his foot out, no one gave a shit about him no more. Bruce, what's going on? Cat got engaged. It happens.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that too. I can see that. Like I said, the West Coast trip is probably coming at the right time.
I think so.
Get some team bonding. You're on the road.
No cat.
Just hang out.
No cat on the bus on the plane. So
no. Please keep that over there. The next topic we're going to move to, we have Unrivaled season 2 that started over the weekend. However, we kind of have a problem. WNBA CBA extension is about to expire again, the second one. And according to Breanna Stewart, there will be no extension. If no deal's set, and I think I want to say, Friday. Friday, they need either another extension or they need a deal. And it seems like no deal's kind of happening because the league never responded to the players' response to what the league put out months ago. So we're kind of in this holding period where a lot of players are playing Unrivaled. They're playing ball. They're working. And nothing's really happening. So Friday is, I'm assuming tomorrow. Friday, or next Friday. But
about 3.5 hours, yep.
Whatever the hell Friday it is, will there be an agreement between the WNBA and the players?
No, I think we're looking down at the barrel of a lockout for sure. Because you figure the WNBA players, they're gonna promote the rival league now heavy as it's rearing up. They're gonna put that stuff on the back burner because they know there's no progress going to be made anytime soon. So I think we're heading straight toward a lockout.
All right. So the agreement is tomorrow. So it is for I was hoping best case was next Friday. No, it's tomorrow. So he said 3.5 hours. We are not coming to an agreement by tomorrow. I can tell you that. We're just going to continue to negotiate in good faith. So you've been negotiating in good faith for a year and nothing's happened. So you're still in this box. It seems like in this article from ESPN that the sticking point still seems to be the revenue sharing. The revenue sharing still seems to be we want more of that revenue. And the league is like, we as a league are only getting 42% of the revenue. So you're cutting to the money that we could make on the league. So that's not possible. Bruce said in the chat the players are going to fold. Do you think the players should kind of relent and go, okay, we have an agreement before that said if we hit certain markers, that number goes up? Should they just go, we'll hit those markers now? Because the markers weren't hit because COVID happened and they're kind of ramping back up. They spent a lot of money in COVID with the bubble and all that stuff. Should the players just go, we'll hit those markers this year and whatever's in writing, we want that when we hit those markers?
I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's how it's probably going to play out. Because I think a long-term lockout, will look bad for both sides. It'll just look, especially now because you see all the other professional leagues, they're trying their best to negotiate in good faith and stand clear of a lockout. Because remember what happened with baseball when they locked up, 20 years ago? It took them a while to bounce back. And I think
that was a strike. So the 94, that was a strike. So I feel like the players took more of a hit for that than the owners. Because if it's a lockout, the owner, like the NHL had a lockout. So the players we want to play, but the owners won't let us play. So I think if you have a lockout, ownership gets kind of screwed over. If you have a strike, the players are like assholes. So I think the league is saying we don't want a lockout. We're not thinking about lockout. But the players already said, we already have said, okay, we can strike when we need to strike.
But I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people is going to sympathize with the owners because they know the league is not, everyone knows the league is not making money. So for the players to come out looking extra greedy and aggressive, especially off the heels of season 2 of Rival, that could look problematic. that long term.
I mean, you look at Unrivaled. First of all, I don't know how many sponsors they got, but there's ads everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So there's money coming into Unrivaled, where I think the president of the league said they're going to be profitable by the end of this season, which is crazy that you have a startup profitable, and a sports startup profitable after 2 years. So that money's there. But I feel like multiple sources told ESPN last week, the WNBA, the league, and so take this number very grain of salt. The league is projecting that a recent union proposal that would give players about 30% of gross revenue and set a $10.5 million salary cap will result in $700 million worth of losses over the life of the new CBA.
Wow.
So once again, take that for a grain of salt because it's coming from the league. So the league are just getting their own little, the little kabuki numbers. We don't know. 30% from 9 sounds like a lot. That's a huge jump.
That's a lot.
Like, I don't know if you could go from 9 to 30. If you went from 9 to 15, I feel like the owners would be more willing to listen to that conversation.
And that lies the problem.
And a $10.5 million salary cap up from 1.5 just seems like a lot. It seems like it seems like the players shot their shot. But I feel like they should have shot the shot back in February of last year.
Exactly.
Not in December with a month to go before the expiration of that CBA.
But we'll see. I mean, it's a good chance. I think it's 50-50 that the players do fold and they, come to a reasonable negotiation ploy.
Bruce, who is our expert, Unrivaled product is meh. Listen, it's not the WNBA, right? First of all, it's 3-on-3. Different configuration.
Mm-hmm.
I loved last season. I watched a little bit this weekend because this weekend I was working and doing the family thing because I have to go back to work. But I think they have a good product. I think the length of the season, I think them having four nights of games is really helpful instead of having 2 nights of just like wall to wall. It's a lot. Right. So you spread them out over 4 days. You have more players, you have more teams. Some of the stars are there now. So you're seeing bigger names there, which is a huge plus for the league. I'm just concerned that with Unrivaled happening, Napheesa Collier, Breanna Stewart, Chelsea Gray, the big names who are in the middle of negotiations, their focus is not completely in the WNBA negotiations because, for Napheesa and Breanna, they're running Unrivaled.
Right.
So Napheesa is the president of the union, but she's running her own thing. So how involved is she with the negotiations with the WNBA when she's helping run the side job that everybody's running for?
Good point.
So I'm just very I'm bullish on if something can happen by tomorrow. I do feel like there will be another extension, though.
You think so?
I think this will be an extension. I think both sides know we have to keep talking. They know how important it is not to have a work stoppage. So I think they will figure out a way to play another month, another 30 days, and we'll come back
right before Valentine's Day.
Listen, it could be a massacre like that Austin McMahon cage match, 97.
Woo!
It could be bad. Was that 97? No, 98.
98.
97 February. Sorry, I watched all these pay-per-views before it went off a Peacock over Christmas. So I watched that.
Yeah, they're on Netflix. Oh, the premium ones the big ones are on Netflix.
Yeah, the bullshit ones, not the in your houses that I enjoy watching. I want to go to college basketball because we did miss a lot with college basketball, and we talk a lot about paying players and how NIL is good and guys getting paid is good. However, something fell through the cracks, and that is the eligibility of certain players. We talked about two players, foreign players who played in the G League, got into college. Some coaches bitched about that. Now we have James Nagy, who was brought into Baylor, who was drafted in the NBA draft, never played an NBA game, played in the G League, played in Summer League, but never played an NBA game. The NCAA granted him eligibility to go to Baylor now. So literally, Baylor picked up a free agent in the middle of the season. Tom Izzo went apoplectic. For the first time in my life, John Calipari and I agree on something. By the way, sidebar. I covered Arkansas the other night, not too long ago, at Prudential Center.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas played Houston
Okay.
at Prudential December 20th. Arkansas lost, so part of me kind of happy. So I'm waiting, post-game press conference, and we're all kind of sitting, waiting.
Mm-hmm.
No one came. About 25 minutes passes. Here comes Calvin Sampson and his Houston team. Usually the losing team goes first, winning team comes out second, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we're waiting. Houston does their thing. Good, great coach, cool. And then we get Arkansas had to catch a bus. So Coach Calipari's not here. So I'm like, wait a second. Your team got smoked. And you, Mr. Calipari, did not have the balls to come to the press conference.
He knew you was waiting for him.
And I know. And it's funny because one of the reporters like, he does this all the time. I'm like,
wow.
What? He's known for this. I'm like, so you lose games and you just disappear? Like, is this what we're doing now?
That is the American way, yes.
It's insane. So back to Najee. Never played an NBA game, but was drafted. Granted eligibility. The NCAA said, okay, new rule. If you played an NBA game, you're not eligible. My question to you, Jason Kortner, how bad is this?
Not only is it awful, and it seems it's awful, it's just wrong. However, I kind of like it. Because it's like money in the bank contract. Hey, if you didn't play a game in NBA, technically he's a free agent. Technically, many colleges start the semesters. We have different semesters. You can start in the fall. You can start in the spring. So, hey, I am all for
it. I feel like this is opening a Pandora's box.
It is opening. Because
now I think I'm trying to look, and there's a name I can't remember. Okay, Brendan Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's played an NBA game. He's on a 2-way contract, so he's actually been in NBA games. He's currently in G League. They're saying he could challenge the rule and say, well, technically, I don't have a full-time contract with NBA team. I have a 2-way deal. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I did play 8 total minutes in the NBA. But my deal's not with the NBA team. It's more of like a 2-way, something between the Chicago Bulls and the Windy City Bulls. Can I be eligible? So I feel like there's no leg to stand on. And the NCAA might be gun-shy going back to court because they have not had a really good success rate as of late going to court.
Right.
So I thought you're opening this up where guys who actually played in NBA for a year, didn't get playing time, are pissed off, think they should be starting or sixth man, say, I'm going back to college. And NCAA's like, okay, you can come back. I just feel like you're opening this up and it could end badly.
Yeah, but this adds a new wrinkle. To me, this is their way of like, you know what? Screw NIL. Since y'all want to do this, we're going to do this as well.
But doesn't it seem like they're still kind of messing with the whole system to make a point of like, you guys wanted this chaotic system. Now you have it. Figure it out.
Let's make it more crazy. Let's make it more chaotic.
It kills me that they just can't, one, face up to the fact that, the NCAA has an organization is a little weakened, right? You've lost every court case that's come that you put forward. And yes, it's changing. And E60 had a really good show last week about, college sports and how it works now. And, you have a team like SMU. SMU, who they've been paying players since like 78. Now it's legal. Then you have UConn, who's like, well, we don't have the money SMU has, so we're trying to compete. But then you have this hockey team who's only D1 in hockey. They're D3, everything else. And they're like, we can't get players because, they want to come here. But Michigan State recruits them. They're going to Michigan State because they're going to get paid for it. So you have the system that the NCAA was never ready for and just did not want to kind of acknowledge. But in the meantime, instead of adjusting, adapt or die, they're just like,
double down.
Go ahead. And they come out with bullshit rulings about, well, if you play in a game in the NBA, you're not eligible. Okay, but this guy got drafted. I thought the rule was if you go into the draft, you're automatically ineligible. What happens to that shit?
Like, nah, we'll scrap that.
I'd see the NCAA just once again, just fuck with everybody and just try to be like, oh, well, it could happen. And listen, I don't know. I don't know. And like, listen, brother wants to go to college, and I know, Scott Drew's like, his sister's a doctor. I'm like, the man's 24 years old. And then it's the same rules for foreign players than American players. And Calipari said
that's pretty murky.
So you're 29 and you played 9 years at FC Barcelona, which is a pro team, but you can still come and play. And his point was, which I agree, where are the opportunities for the high school players now?
It's pretty bleak for them. Pretty bleak.
Because you don't have that G League Ignite anymore. They got rid of that team.
I was just going to say,
team was shit. Yep. That team was awful. But then Overtime Elite. I don't know what the hell. I still don't know what the hell Overtime Elite does, what they do, or what the purpose of Overtime Elite is. You're 18, 19 years old. Can you get a scholarship to go to Baylor or Kansas? Michigan. It seems that Izzo and Calipari are still trying to coach up high school players, and Ariel said, "Screw that. We're not even trying no more.
Knock yourself out."
So I'm slippery
I
slope.
would love to hear what some of these old guards have to say about this, like the Coach K's and.
I mean, I unfortunately watch College Game Day pretty often, and Nick Saban's just like, this whole system sucks, and so that's essentially the sentiment from all the old heads. The system sucks. We don't like it. Screw it. But Lane Kiffin can go where the hell he wants. That's cool.
Yeah.
And take all of his goddamn assistants with him on the verge of a playoff semifinal game. Different conversation.
Nuts.
Men's college basketball rankings. We have Arizona at the top of the AP poll, and at the top of the coaches poll, we have Michigan. So they kind of flip-flop in both. I watched Michigan play the other night. They played Penn State. Michigan's very impressive.
Yeah,
I've not seen Arizona because they play too late at night, and I'm trying to get some sleep. So I'm hoping.
I haven't seen any West Coast games at all.
No, well, I know Thursday nights usually you have I feel like Gonzaga plays every Thursday night. They're always on ESPN. So I'm probably going to hopefully see Gonzaga tonight. I think Arizona plays like a 4:00 game on Saturday, so I want to check them out. I will say this: UConn 14-1. I saw them. I've seen them twice already this season.
They look good.
They look really good. Their guard, if they lose a guard, because they're very guard heavy. If they lose any of their big four guards, they're going to collapse because they move the ball very well. They shoot very well. But when any one of those four guards go down, I think UConn will fall. So the fact that they're fourth in the country is pretty impressive. I do want to shout out Seton Hall. They got some votes in the AP poll. I was talking a lot of shit about Seton Hall for a while because I think they were like, I want to say 8-0 or 9-1 or something like that. And somebody at one of the games I went to cover were like, "Oh yeah, Seton Hall." I'm like, "They ain't play nobody." I can't say they're good. They ain't play nobody. The guys are like, "They didn't play nobody." I'm like, "Yeah, who they play? Wagner?" They play Monmouth. They play where I went to school. They've kind of kept it moving. I'm trying to get their schedule up right now. They're 13-1. However, here's their 13 wins, and you tell me if they're good or if they're not good. Okay. So, St. Peter's, Wagner, Fairfield, Monmouth.
No juggernauts yet. No juggernauts yet.
New Haven.
Okay.
NC State. That's one.
Okay.
Washington State. Central Connecticut.
Oh gosh.
Kansas State.
Respectable.
Rutgers.
Always going to beat in-state rival. Okay.
Providence.
Any given year, Providence is a good win.
Marquette on the road.
Okay.
Creighton.
You could only play who's in front of you.
So their Big East schedule. So if you count, they're 3-1 in the Big East, right?
Right.
2 of the 3 wins are on the road. They beat Providence. And I think Kim English is getting fired at any point for Providence. I think he's not long for this life in Providence. I think beating Marquette in Wisconsin was a big win.
Big win.
I definitely see Creighton have kind of falling off this season. So I don't think this is the Creighton from the last 2, 3, 4 years. What are your thoughts on the one loss they got is against Villanova at home?
Okay.
Sorry, in USC. They lost to USC.
Yes, I remember that. Hawaii. They lost in Hawaii.
Yeah. Are they good or are they bad? Are they good or, like you said, are they just beating teams they should beat?
I think this being the team they should beat. We're going to find out more about them as their Big East schedule starts heating up. We're going to see how they look against UConn, St. John's. But I think I do respect what Seton Hall, because last year we thought they kind of fell off. So I think this is respectable. Hey, listen, I think they're going to be. I think the Big East is going to have a lot more teams in the tournament than people expected.
Yeah, I think you got UConn. Actually, I brought up I'm already looking at Joe Lunardi stuff. I feel like it's way too early doing this.
He's starting the beginning of the year. Let's go.
It's way too early. Right now, Lunardi has 4 Big East teams in the tournament.
Oh wow,
which seems light to me, but whatever.
I was thinking 6, but okay.
So he has. I'm going through real quick. I saw Seton Hall at the top of the list. Seton Hall, St. John's, which I'm like, because St. John's looks like shit right now.
I think they'll turn it around a little bit.
Seton Hall, St. John's,
Villanova,
UConn,
yeah,
and Villanova. Those are the 4 that he has in right now.
Okay.
So I don't want to say that I don't know. You go to Big East Media Day, and UConn was going to always compete. St. John's was always going to be in that conversation. I think Seton Hall is trying to kind of feel out who they are. I think they got Bud Clark. Bud Clark, he came from guard from Merrimack. Really good guard. But they also came in the season 10 new players, which is crazy. I still think it's crazy to have 10 new guys on the team.
Right.
But besides those 3 that I was really talking to, Creighton didn't seem like they were like there. I think probably like I said, Providence, I think Kim English is kind of running out of time. I think Ed Cooley throwing water bottles at kids in the crowd. Kind of a bad look. Say Ed.
Not that the kids.
He's trying to get Georgetown back to where they were, and we see it in football, Alabama and Georgia. The Georgetown name in basketball doesn't really carry that weight like it used to back in the day.
Yeah.
So
not in the NIL era.
No. So I feel like it's hard for Big East teams to really kind of take advantage of the NIL because you don't have Syracuse anymore.
Yep.
So you have Creighton, who shouldn't be there. You got Butler, who wants to play in Indiana. St. John's is still St. John's. I think Pitino's doing a good job, but Pitino's big in the transfer portal. Pitino's not recruiting New York high school guys. He's going to the portal. I think Shaheen kind of figured out you can't just recruit the guys you recruited at St. Peter's thinking you can bring a 2-star in the South Orange and play Big East basketball. I think he tried that and he failed miserably, especially last year. So I don't know where the Big East is right now. I think UConn obviously is top of the list. I think Villanova is going to be good because Kevin Willard's a good coach. But besides those 2 teams, I think you have this dogfight for the rest of the league.
And in a current dogfight, you would take Seton Hall to be that 3rd.
I mean, listen. If you're coaching Shaheen Holloway, that's your dude. That's the guy you want in that trench with you. So I'm just curious to see what happens. Women's poll, UConn obviously top of the list. Unfortunately, UConn, Texas, South Carolina, UCLA is your top 4. I think this top 4 doesn't really change very much this year. I think you're going to have UConn, South Carolina, UCLA in that top. I think Texas Madison Booker, who still plays like Kevin Durant with the number 35 on her back. I think Texas is going to be a problem. I think they're playing at the Coretta Scott King. that I'm going to next week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think Texas is there this year. I got to double check. So that's where we are right now. Real quick, were you expecting to see Chris Jericho on Monday?
I was not.
No, you're one of the few.
I think WWE has a problem. I don't know what to put my. I don't know what. SmackDown was really good on Friday, and then Raw was really bad. And it was in the backyard. I actually thought about going to Barclays, but then I looked at the prices and I was like, "Oh hell no!" I can see 10 I can see 10 Nets games for the price of one Monday Night Raw.
You can probably see 10 Nets games and get beer and get chicken fingers.
It was ridiculous. $400 in the 200 section.
In the 200s.
In the 200s. $400 they wanted.
Listen,
and that was cheap.
I told myself, I was like, I'm going to watch the Open. I'm curious. And when that Stranger Things shit, I'm like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. Because at some point, like AEW does it when they have like DC shit with Warner Brothers, Discovery. And like, I get that the cross branding thing, but AEW kind of leans into it a lot. And it's kind of funny. They really lean into like Green Hornet shit. All WWE did was put a couple like trucks and vans. There was no cast members from the show, which is hilarious.
That was also weird.
Not one. You didn't get one cast member.
You could have got somebody.
You could have got someone dressed up like one of the monsters. At least give us that. I did watch the CM Punk Braun match the next day. That match was not that good, and Braun almost broke his neck again.
That's also another problem. Like I didn't realize them not having a young champion is a detriment to the company. Because when Stone Cold, The Rock, when these guys were cooking, they were all in their late 20s, early 30s. And everybody who's currently holding belt is 40 and above. That's a problem.
I'm just saying MJF, like 24, 25. Just saying. The man. Just saying Willow Nightingale, late 20s. I'm just saying. I feel like AEW kind of figured it out and go, you know what? We have our lane. We're going to stay in our lane. You do you. We got something cool here. I want to curse for it. I'm sorry, Dad. Fuck the WWE. Yeah, do you. We're AEW, and it is what it is. I think.
But I am looking forward to a early Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks where I'm getting up like 10 o'clock in the morning to watch the Rumble.
But here's my issue with that, because I've probably very like immature of me, but I've not watched a Saudi Arabia show ever.
So you're not watching Mania next year?
Mm-mm. Even Royal Rumble. Like Royal Rumble is the one show I look forward to every year, and it's tough for me to kind of come to terms with the fact that they're so in bed with the Saudi government and the Saudi, whitewashing with the sports. It's hard for me to kind of fathom and kind of like, I can usually separate things. I'm very good at compartmentalizing. All right.
Yep, compartmentalizing.
Right. R. Kelly's a piece of shit, but damn, Ignition Remix, that's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson, allegedly did some shit, but Stranger in Moscow, that shit come on, I feel it. For some reason, I can't get over them going over Saudi Arabia, and Mania being there next year, it killed me.
Of all the places they're gonna, the first outside Mania, outside of the Western Hemisphere, should have been in London.
Yeah,
it should have been in one day.
Because you're still dealing with the time difference, which is like their whole excuse. Well, the time difference it's a lot. You're still dealing with it over there, but because they're like, we have this money for you, like, okay. And London's like, we're not giving you all that money. That's why Cena's match didn't happen in Boston. It happened in DC because DC's like, we got the money. Boston's like, you can take it. We're good.
We'll watch Peacemaker season 3 whenever it comes out.
It's just tough to watch at this point. And SmackDown going 3 hours. I don't care how long it's gonna be 3 hours. It's not a good idea. I don't care a 3 hour show. I don't care what company it is. I don't care. A 3 hour TV show is a slog. I don't care how many new people you introduce. It's a long ass show.
It's a long, yeah.
So, anywho, Jason, 9th year. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Yes, sir.
So starting in February, all of our shows will be back on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're going to go back to that. So we're going to have, obviously, this is going to stay put. You know, the box out, armchairing, Live Free Laugh Art will still be on YouTube, but we're also going to put the audio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts too. We're also going to start putting up clips of our shows, reels, if you will, just to give people a taste of what we talk about. So our first reel was essentially me telling America how I don't want the Knicks to put up a banner of the.
And you got your wish.
No banner. I was very, very excited. So
surprising. We didn't even talk about Dolan. We didn't even talk about Dolan on the fan.
Here's an issue with
the banner.
Before we go, I didn't watch the interview because once again,
I didn't watch it either. I watched clips.
Petty KT, fuck Craig Carton.
Yeah,
because he keeps like, what does he have on FAN's program director that he keeps getting jobs? He leaves, comes back. He left them, went to Fox, failed miserably, and they're like, you can come back and knock out Brandon Tierney and Sal. It's okay. Like, and he's not entertaining. Like, obviously, he's not for me. Craig Carton is not for me. But what makes him so interesting that he keeps coming back to FAN in the drive time role? Give him middays. Why does he have to be drive time?
That is a very great question. Someone needs to investigate. Pablo. Let's have Pablo over this.
Put Pablo on a Craig Carton beat. He'll win that one. So yeah, I didn't see the interview. I should have watched clips, but also it's James Dolan. He just annoys the shit out of me. So it's tough to get through a James Dolan interview. Did they talk about JD and the straight shot at all or no?
No, he doesn't know.
Okay. I'm glad that's over with now because his music sucks too. For Jason Gordon, I'm Kahlil Thomas. We'll be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Cordner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.